got a question from H, and this is her question. I could have saved my dog's life, and I've regrets and guilt, and now I am unable to move on in life. How do I get past the regrets and the guilt? And the first thing I'm seeing is that I see the stuck energy that you're talking about, and it's predominantly around the chest or the heart chakra, the area of the heart. Although I'm seeing some of it goes down into the emotional levels as well. And this card, oddly enough, it reminds me of the heart. And the guy at the front reminds me of someone who's judging, perhaps judging oneself harshly. Anyway, let's look at this energy and this energy block. And I'm seeing feelings of responsibility as well as guilt. And I think what will help you perhaps is to talk about death and dying and a spiritual perspective on that versus a physical perspective on that. Because I'm seeing that you're taking a physical perspective on it, which is to say that life ends. And which is to say that, therefore, being alive in a physical body is the only state that has meaning or value. And from my perspective, from a spiritual perspective, that's not true. We are non-physical beings inhabiting a physical form, then returning completely to the state of non-physical beings, like a pulse, right? Life is eternal, and it is energy taking different forms. Okay, so our consciousness exists always in the non-physical, but we can project it into the physical, and then withdraw it from the physical, and project it to the physical, and then withdraw it from the physical. And I'm seeing that larger perspective is that, well, that life never ends. It only changes form or changes the way that it's being expressed. And that when we're in the physical, we have a very limited perspective about that is lifted. That cloud of illusion is lifted when we pass into the non-physical. And so you're projecting onto the situation about your dog a purely physical perspective that says, I terminated that life, and I caused that being to cease to exist. And I'm seeing that that's not what happened. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, everything happens in its right timing. There's no right or wrong. There's a time to live and there's a time to die. And it really is in accordance with what some people call God, but with the divine principle. And so I'm hoping that perspective will also help you. And then to answer your question, how do I get past the regrets and guilt? Forgive yourself and accept. This is what happened. You can't change what happened. You can't go into the past and make a different decision. This is what is. And so focusing on it won't change anything. Accepting it and forgiving yourself will help you move past the regrets and the guilt. And accepting that there is a divine principle at play, and that you're not solely responsible for the demise of a physical being. That this is all part of the divine order of the universe. And, the knowledge that Ultimately, there is love in all consciousness. And so your dog that passed away is in love and feels nothing but love for you. And so that there's no reason to blame yourself and beat yourself up. Now, this card is about the pace of things unfolding. And so, of course, don't expect yourself to be perfectly healed in an instant. You can be, but you don't have to be. And oftentimes it really takes us time in the physical to adjust to changes that have happened, such as somebody passing away. And so be kind to yourself, you know, accept that you are feeling some grief as well. And in that kindness and acceptance, you will give yourself permission to move on. So I hope that helps, H.